international. Oh, no, why you did it international? Okay, you guys, I'm so happy to be finally filming this YouTube video. You guys can call me Sham. And I just want to note first off that I am not a travel guide. I am not a travel agent. I hate planning things. Literally, I'm just a person that woke up one day and decided I'm gonna start solo traveling. So I called my friends and family and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Prague. And the first thing everyone said to me was, where the hell is Prague? It sounds scary, and I've talked to a lot of people about their desire to solo travel. And honestly, I think it's an incredible decision. I don't have a lot of responsibilities outside of myself, so it's easier for me. But these tips can absolutely be applied to groups, friends, family, whoever, just anyone that needs information on your first time traveling. Unfortunately, I have to plan everything for myself. And I want you guys to know that I am absolutely a bargain traveler, okay? Like, I'm not spending tons of money, so keep that in mind also. I'm traveling by myself, but I'm also doing it affordable. So, tip number one, be flexible. That is the number one thing that holds people back from being able to travel internationally. You pick one location, you pick one set of dates, and you stick to that. And that is absolutely limiting you. Just be open to other locations, other dates. Can you go on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday? Sometimes that's the difference between like $100 and your ticket price. Also, can you go out during the week instead of the weekend? Just try your best to be flexible with the location and your dates, and that will really open up your opportunities to internationally travel. Okay, next tip. Do not go into debt trying to internationally travel. If you don't have the money to do it right now, you just don't have the money to do it right now. If you know that you're spending rent money, light bill money, then you do not have the money to travel, okay? That is not gonna help you in the long run, because believe me, anything can happen while you're in another country. And if you don't have the money to pay for it, you're gonna be looking stupid. So don't spend money that you don't have. Next tip. Use internet apps, website pages, whatever you can find. Check on Instagram for the city that you're in. See if there's a page that is already finding deals, posting deals, and avidly follow that page. And other apps that I think are useful for this, Skyscanner, Skiplag, Momondo. I think the single most useful tool that I use for finding like incredible flight prices is Sky's Cheap Flights. It's a subscription service in which you enter what airport you're interested in. I put my home airport as DFW. They have a free service, but I eventually upgraded to the premium service where they send you literally everywhere, and they'll send you the most incredible deal prices. I think trips from Dallas to Barcelona, I think the cheapest I saw was $275. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There's some domestic places that have flights more than that. Definitely look into using internet apps, internet access, any type of subscription service to help you book the best possible flight prices. Okay, so in addition to using those apps, the thing about this is when you're dealing with flight prices, you're dealing with a time clock. This could be a downside if you're working with a lot of people, with a lot of schedules. It's a quick decision you have to make. Search incognito, because sometimes they do funny business with the flight prices when you look at it too much. I've seen it to where I look at a certain flight and then I go back and look at another one and it's an extra $300. So if you can, do it incognito, or if you have access to one, use a VPN. Okay, next tip, check the weather in the location that you're going to. This seems like not high up on a lot of people's lists, but you don't want to book a place where it's in a rainy season Because what can you really do if it's raining at that time, or you think that just because it's cold in the States during this time, it could be a totally different type of temperature over there. So you don't want to get caught in a place with flip-flops or somewhere and it's like freezing cold and you can't really enjoy your time or your stay because you haven't properly packed or planned for the weather. So again, check the weather. Okay, next tip. Check travel logistics. And what I mean by check travel logistics, check to see if the country you're visiting is on alert for Americans. Is there some kind of disease outbreak? Is there a protest going on? Has the president said something goofy and now they have to round up all of the Americans in the area? There's an app for the State Department. I think there's a couple of different apps that you can download on your phone and turn on the notifications and so you're aware of everything. Again, if you're in a group, this is something maybe only one person has to keep up with, but because I'm by myself, I have to stay on top of everything. So also check to see if the place that you're visiting needs a visa. Do you have to get it months in advance? Can you get it weeks in advance? Can you get an emergency visa if you don't have one? Can you get a visa upon arrival? Make sure you have at least 6 months before the expiration date, because I don't think there's any country that will let you come to theirs if you are about to expire on your passport. I don't know what the 6 month is about. Just make sure you stay on top of the logistics of your trip. Next tip, invest in travel insurance. I know it's insurance. Nobody wants to pay for it. Anything can happen. Someone can die. You can break your leg, you can get sick in another country, anything that helps you recover some of the money that you will lose in case of an emergency. Whatever type of protection you can buy. A person like me, I lose things. So make copies of your passport and your ID and keep them in separate locations just to help along with the process of you proving you are who you say you are. Keep your IDs in separate locations. So I have a copy of my driver's license in here with my regular passport. And then I have a copy of my passport in here with my regular ID. I do like to travel with both. So I do keep copies of all of my IDs in separate locations. And also make an email copy and send it to an emergency contact back home. Make a copy again of your passport, your IDs, your itinerary. Email it to someone back home, because if all else fails, you lose both of these, you can contact someone. They can send that information over to the U.S. Embassy in whatever country you're in, and that can help you in case you go missing. You can contact the U.S. Embassy in another place. And again, this might be overkill for a group, but since I'm by myself, this is for other solo travelers. Okay, next tip, going in hand with the last one. Keep money in separate locations. Remember, you're there to have fun. These people are there to interrupt the fun. They can see you count the money, put it in your purse, and next thing you know, they side swap you, take the purse, and literally you just basically gave them all the money that you have. So keep money in separate places. I like to keep a certain amount of money in my passport holder. I keep some in my wallet. I keep some in my luggage back at my hotel, just in case something pops off and you're not like completely bummed or left stranded somewhere if someone decides that they want to jack you for all your money. So definitely keep money in separate locations. Next tip, look up emergency information for the country that you're visiting. No one likes to think about bad things happening when you're going on vacation, but let's be honest, and a person like me, I have to think about that kind of stuff. So in crisis, if you need to suddenly get in contact with emergency services, with the police, and you pull out your phone and you realize, I don't know how to make a phone call in another country, and furthermore, I'm dialing 911. Now realize that when I plan my trip to Czech Republic and I'm looking, I'm like, what's the police number over here? Like, it's gonna be completely useless if you're going to some country far, far away and you're dialing 911. Next tip, check with your phone carrier to make sure you are ready for an international phone plan. I saw this woman's vlog, and when she went on vacation, came back home to a $1,200 phone bill. That's insane. Just make sure there's some type of phone plan there. And if that doesn't work, they actually have SIM cards that you can get at the airport or places in other countries that you can take your SIM card out and put theirs in. Usually your best option is to check with your phone carrier to make sure that they have an international phone plan that you can use while you are out of this country. Use itinerary apps. It helps you plan your trip literally from A to Z. My favorite app is Visit a City. It's the app where you type in the name of the city that you're going to, type in the number of days that you're going, and they'll find activities, museums, attractions. You can do a light day, a action-packed day. But if you're just randomly booking a vacation and think that you're just gonna go there and figure out what you're gonna do when you're there, I would advise against that, because I've done that and it was a huge monumental waste of my time. I spent nearly half a day trying to figure out what to do on my trip to Prague, and I was just like, I totally could have done this like weeks ago. Definitely look into using itinerary apps. Okay, next tip is invest in global entry. Now this one isn't necessarily like mandatory, or I wouldn't consider it mandatory, and there's honestly ways to get around some of this stuff, but I found that even one international trip makes global entry very, very useful. TSA pre-check is included with global entry. The lines for customs, immigration, just to get back into this country, and especially if you're not at your final destination, if you are connecting, that's gonna be a hassle. But I do feel like there's ways around that. You can download the mobile passport app. With mobile passport, you enter everything on your phone saying you're coming back from here, and you go up to a kiosk in the airport, and I see that they're moving more towards like facial recognition and biometric scanning. So that's easier. It scans your passport and everything, you're on your way. The regular line to just go through customs was so long. Literally so long, and I use mobile passport even though I have global entry just to see what the process is like, and it was a breeze. It was such a breeze, and the good thing about that is that it is free. The process for getting global entry was kind of, it's hoops to jump through. You have to fill out an application. Obviously you have to be eligible, so you fill out an application. It's $100. I go to the airport for an interview, and they take a picture, and then you get a global entry card. So I think it's worth the investment. If you have the extra money, I'd say go for it. Next tip, exchange money for your trip before you go to another country. You might think it's easy, but literally these people will do any and everything to scam you, whether it's just legally scamming you by the amount of money that you get back, or literal people stealing money from you and you're not aware that it's not real money. I've seen it all. There's a wonderful YouTube page that I follow to plan my trip for Prague. It's called The Real Honest Guide, and he does all these videos about how to understand currency conversion and how to avoid scammers. Also, check with your credit card company. A lot of European countries will take credit cards, but just check to make sure they don't have any international usage fees. So I had to decide how much can I pay for with my credit card and how much cash will I. I contacted my bank, got $100 worth of crowns. I'm like, okay, I'll use my credit card to pay for tours, museum tickets, XYZ. And I'll use all of this cash to pay for places that don't take cash, like restaurants or for tips, things like that. There's a currency conversion app that you can download. They'll tell you what the current rate is for whatever country's money versus the US dollar. And once I'm not a big math person, but I watched enough of the money exchange videos to learn that they will really, really scam you. Like, say you give them $20, you in exchange get back $10 of their money after fees, and that's kind of ridiculous. Okay, maybe getting back $18, $16 of their money might be reasonable for you, but less than half, okay, come on, that's a scam. If all else fails, definitely do not exchange money with people on the street. Don't trust people on the street, especially with a type of currency, you don't have any idea what it looks like. Do everything in your power to find the cheapest way to exchange money. Avoid the airport, avoid ATMs, and avoid currency exchange places that have terrible, terrible rates. They will rob you. Okay, my last tip for this particular video, I don't want it to be too lengthy, is learn the language. If you actually need help or ordering food or need to get somewhere, it would be really helpful if you would learn, hello, where's the train station, where's the bus stop, where is the map, just small little phrases. The countries that I've been to isn't the easiest language. Like Czech is actually really difficult to learn, but I started to pick it up really easy. I would walk around and hear people say "Dobry den," and I was like, oh, that means hello. People will be much more likely to help you if you've taken the time to learn the language. So that's all the tips that I have for this video. I have a ton more, but I don't want to hold you guys. So to the next video, ciao.